2. It's Todd Stevens versus Sean Thrasher. Last time we had one burn deck at 6-0. Different player. Also, we have Scred in the undefeated bracket. Just red cards.
Wasn't that long ago that Scred Red won a Grand Prix.
Todd Stevens on the play here. Starts out on Forest for Sean Thrasher. He has a 1-drop. It's Monastery Swift Spear. He was on a mulligan to 6 this round. I like the style when you're playing burn, how cards, look at the angle of the cards. See, it's not even, you know, deck's a little crooked. Guy on tap's kind of going the other way. Whatever. We got a plan. We're hitting you for damage.
He has some pretty nice cards, does Thrasher. Judge Promo Wooded Foothills, Unglued Mountains. That is a foil Swift Spear.
So we see on Todd's side that turn birds not until turn 2 means his hand is all 3-drops, actually. He has 2 Knight of the Reliquaries, Courser of Krufix, and Azusa Lost But Seeking. Believe another 3-drop in there as well. So these Courser of Krufix could be great. I like actually Knight of the Reliquary into Courser of Krufix, activate Knight of the Reliquary. Like, this is fun. We do see Lightning Bolt on the bird for Sean. Then it hits with Swift Spear.
Bolt the Bird. It's just something that's ingrained in the minds of a lot of Magic players.
Yeah, then follows up with a Suspended Rift Bolt. We would have loved it that it were a Searing Blaze, but Todd does not have a 3rd land. We'll see if he can draw it. He does, so he'll play it, but it's Temple Garden. That's going to hurt.
Yep. No lands in the graveyard, so he can't even produce a large Knight of the Reliquary.
But with his hand of 5 3-drops, I mean, he's happy to hit any lands that turn. So we'll go for Knight of the Reliquary. It is just a 2/2.
I would bend that the other way and say that he's extremely unhappy to not hit lands, and that he absolutely needed that 3rd land.
So there's a 3/3 Knight and a Rift Bolt coming off Suspend. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the Rift Bolt's going to tag the Knight of the Reliquary. So nothing yet for Todd. Though he is trading his creatures with Sean's burn spell, so it's buying him time.
Sean picked up a Searing Blaze for the turn. If he knew that was there, Rift Bolt probably would have went upstairs, but still in a good spot.
Yes, plays Eidolon, swings for 2. Todd Stevens down to 13. Draw from Todd looks to be Noble Hierarch. That's not going to do much. Todd will play Courser. He's hoping to hit a land.
This one is better against Searing Blaze.
Yeah, top card of the deck. Is it going to play? Is his deck going to be nice here? Well, let's find out. Nice in a big way. Not only is it land, it's an untapped forest, which is pretty much the perfect land. He even has the 1-drop to go with it in Noble Hierarch.
Well, that Hierarch, I imagine, will be getting hit by a Searing Blaze. Or, you know, Thrasher can force some combat, see if he can blaze the Courser as well. One way or the other, the Blaze is looking mighty nice.
So yeah, Todd went to 11 off the Courser. He had to decide for a second if he wanted to play Noble Hierarch. He does go down to 10 to play it. But Courser of Krufix is a really scary card for burn. It 4 toughness, gains life, blocks creatures. It's got a lot of good things going on. But this is dangerous. Lava Spike, Todd to 7. I would be concerned right now if I were Todd Stevens.
He has Boros Charm and Searing Blaze in hand, so yeah, plenty to be concerned about.
Swift Spear attacks. It's a 2/3.
Blocking recommended.
Blocking with Noble Hierarch from Todd Stevens. Sneaky. And then Sean just says go. Draw is a fetch land from Stevens. Path to Exile on top of the deck. The issue is he kind of knows.
Casting spells is unfortunate.
Yeah, I still don't know if he can get out of this. Todd's trying really hard.
Not casting spells, not much better. If he had Collected Company in his hand, we might be looking at a different game.
Yeah, that would be great. So we get Company into 2 Coursers, make our land drop.
Well, it's largely just the fact that Collected Company is a 4-mana spell, so he doesn't get hit by the Eidolon. Tyler's Tracker is just not worth it.
Goes up to 8, plays Knight of the Reliquaries. he can say go. So the thing is that now Sean really does have to just dump the hand. Todd goes to 6 because if Knight untaps, that Courser is going to start being really good.
Conveniently, that Knight is still dead to Searing Blaze. Thrasher has a fetch land, and his last card in hand is Boros Charm.
Yeah, it's a 2/2 right now, and there's only one fetch land in play for Todd. So, yeah.
Todd's just dead to this stuff, so it doesn't especially matter that the Knight is dead to Searing Blaze.
Well, he's not dead yet, right?
Well, he won't be dead until Thrasher's turn, but he will be dead then.
Sean, does he have another card other than the Searing Blaze?
I believe he has Blaze Boros Charm.
Oh, then he's super dead. Yeah, fair enough. Here's the Searing Blaze. Kills Knight, goes upstairs. Todd down to 3. Yeah, that works. You know, Sean taking a lot of damage here off his own spells. He fetch, shocked, Searing Blaze, so he took 5.
Yeah, the only point that matters is the last one.
Boros Charm in hand. Don't get too fancy. Just kill him. Just cast. You got a lethal burn spell. Boros Charm. That does it. Sean Thrasher takes game 1. Yeah, Shark Todd. Yeah. Yeah.
And Stevens was even on the play. Thrasher mulliganed.
You know, if that bird was a turn 1 bird instead of a turn 2 bird, the whole game would have been different.
It does change things quite a lot.
Or if he had some fetch lands to pump the Knight. Anyway, Todd Stevens now is going to be down a game. So looking at the sideboard, though, fortunately for him, he's got a lot of play here. 3 copies of Stony Silence, 3 copies of Surgical Extraction. Those are for other matchups, but he's got 3 Blessed Alliances and 2 Engineered Explosives. That seems just fantastic for this matchup.
The Blessed Alliance are a slam dunk. It has 2 modes that are always great and 1 mode that sometimes matters. The Engineered Explosives is a little bit clunky, but I think it does enough where he wants it in a matchup like this. So certainly the Blessed Alliance. That one coming in for sure.
All right. So we'll see him become a little bit slower, get some life gain in. For Thrasher's side, game 1 looked great for him. When you look at cards like Destructive Revelry, Graph Digger's Cage, Core Firewalker, Kataki, none of those seem great. The cards I would ask you about are Path to Exile and Deflecting Palm.
Path to Exile, Todd's got a lot of strong creatures. He's going to be on the play, so yeah, having Path to clear those out, that makes some sense. Most white decks should have access to some number of Blessed Alliance, so Skullcrack looks pretty good. I'm not super into Deflecting Palm in a matchup like this. Todd's a pretty slow deck. You kind of just want to cheese him in the early game.
Yeah, I think I agree. I sometimes see players board that in, well, certainly against like Infect or like a Primeval Titan deck. Knight of the Reliquary makes it tempting. That card can get pretty big, but I think I'm agreeing that I wouldn't want it.
Yeah, he has some Tireless Trackers too. I don't know. It just seems like you're planning too much on the game going a very specific way. I might like some small number of Destructive Revelries to destroy Courser of Krufix.
I mean, if Sean knows that Todd is playing 4 Coursers, Destructive Revelry is a very reasonable card.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knows that.
Right.
All right, they're going to get ready for Game 2. So over at StarCityGames.com, we've, of course, been running Game Night here in 2016. That's the promotion held at stores around the country where you get exclusive Star City Games pins and tokens just for playing in the weekly events that you'd normally be playing in otherwise. So this March, we have been giving away the Pig Through Time. This is the delving boar here from Khans of Tarkir that was being given away just starting this month. We have that around next month. We are doing the Fleece Keeper. It's the 0/1 sheep token from Mirage. And I don't believe you know the May one, right?
I don't think I know
so
this.
We're returning back to our roots. This is, of course, we haven't had a cat this year, so everybody loves cat tokens. This is the Imperious Perfect. This is your 1/1 elf token or perhaps cat token. That one. If your store gets signed up now, we can get you registered in time to give this away during May. The art's just so good. It's just so good.
That's the worst one we've ever had.
So Pig Through Time was reasonable. This is where you draw the line.
Pig Through Time was the GOAT, all right? The problem with Imperious Perfect is that per's not really a word to begin with. It's like onomatopoeia for the noise that a cat makes.
Yeah.
That's just nonsense. You can't make a pun with nonsense.
No, I mean, I think you certainly can, based on that.
Well, as you see,
yeah, evidence-wise,
we can and have.
But yeah, that one. So now to complement your Liam Lonergan tokens, you now can get these cats. The question is, do you use it for a cat deck or an elf deck? I'm torn.
Both. Either. Live your life. You can do whatever you want.
Thrasher's going to be down to 6 cards here.
Okay, backtrack a little bit. Slobberin' Mile Driver was the worst
That
one
was
we
like,
ever
right.
did.
It's like, you've got to be kidding me. Turn 1 Noble Hierarch from Todd. Yeah, that one, it took me a long time to figure out what that meant. Goblin Guide swings on in, shows Courser of Crufix. Yeah, that's going to happen on turn 2, isn't it?
Yikes.
This game might take a pretty different... Yeah, Todd will draw that one, sure. Sure. Ghost Quarter. It's got to just be Slam Courser. Or maybe it's... Oh, no, he's going to go Knight. Okay, this means when we untap and make Courser, then it's just going to be...
Get to gain a lot of life that way.
Well, right now the Knight's only a 2/2. Thrasher should have removal for that.
Even if Thrasher has a Searing Blaze here, Stevens does still have Noble Hierarch.
Right, so and it is Searing Blaze. Stevens down to 15 and 13 on the swing. Blessed Alliance, the next card he's drawing.
Gross.
Yeah, green-white. Let's every card gains life and does something else. This is going to be a good match.
Goblin Guy's not even hitting lands. It's just telling Thrasher just bad news every turn. This is the worst friend he's ever had.
If my opponent's going to draw cards like this every turn, I'd rather not know. I'd rather he just drew lands and then drew these cards in secret, so I didn't tilt myself.
Kept a pretty good hand that time, huh, Todd? No.
Like, he'd be like, yeah, I did. I just. So this time, now he plays Courser, finds a land on top of his deck, goes to 14 and passes. Fetch land up, Path to Exile in hand. This is looking very good for Todd Stevens. Now he might. This is going to be a Destructive Revelry check, I would think. Did Thrasher bring him in?
Yeah.
No reason he wouldn't cast it if he has one.
Yeah, certainly interested in connecting with the Goblin Guide as opposed to not. And fetch there for a Stomping Ground. He's up to something.
Yeah, main phase fetch feels like it could be a Searing Blaze, something of the sort. Monastery Swift Spear the play. Then yeah, Destructive Revelry.
Boom.
Okay. Good call, Sean, on bringing these in.
This is looking a lot better than it was a second ago.
So Todd might fetch here because the fetch is free. Like, he loses a life but then gains it when the land comes into play. Unless he was really dead set on drawing Horizon Canopy, this is a good play.
Which I can't imagine was the case.
Yeah. Basic Plane, so it just goes up to 15. Remember, he has Path to Exile in hand, too. Sean's draws really well, right? Goblin Guide into Searing Blaze, basically second Searing Blaze. That's what Burn lives to do that against creature decks. But Todd's draws are matching him.
He's going to have some problems with that Blessed Alliance still.
Yeah, I'm not sure he'll win it. You know, here's a swing of both. No cards, extra cards here for Todd. There's a Knight of the Reliquary on top of his deck. It's still there. But he will get to fire off this Path to Exile on Monastery Swift Spear. So he only drops down to 10. And you're right, he has that Blessed Alliance.
Plenty of mana sources to cast 3-mana creature, as well as leave up Alliance to at least gain 4 on the following turn.
Yeah,
There's an argument for actually just taking this window to gain 4 life so you don't get caught by a Skullcrack.
Here is, again, looks like another creature. So he's got 2 lands, Blessed Alliance, Knight of the Reliquary. So interestingly, where I'd worry about Todd's side is this Knight can't die. If he plays Knight, right now it's a 3/3. He probably would want to leave up Ghost Quarter, because if he doesn't, then maybe Sean kills it.
Yeah. Could also play Canopy, leave up cracking that.
Okay, so now the Knight, that's what he's going to go for. So the Knight is basically a 4/4 if Todd wants it to be. But if Thrasher can kill it, Todd doesn't have any more threats. So say Thrasher boarded in his Path to Exile and just paths away the Knight. It's really good here if he did.
Right.
Swift Spear from Thrasher. A swing with both. Well, that certainly seems suspicious.
One of the remaining cards in Thrasher's hand is an Eidolon of the Great Revel. That one's not going to do too much for him.
Todd gets a land. Yeah, Stevens will just not play any more spells. Just pump Knight, or play few spells.
Right.
Only play the really good ones. So the 3/3 Knight is going to jump in front of the Swift Spear, and now it's Atarka's command from Thrasher. Pump the team, but this is still not enough, right? Knight's going to win this fight. He deals 3 and pumps the team.
It's largely just to be able to get in for additional points with the Goblin Guide. This converts the command into 4 damage.
So Knight up to a 4/4. It will still eat the Swift Spear. But Goblin Guide deals 3, and Todd is down to 4. Sean's hand was really good here. I just want to just reflect on that. We had Goblin Guide, Searing Blaze. Turn 3 was another haste creature and a Revelry, and then this turns into Atarka's command and another Swift Spear. Like, I love all of this.
I'm pretty convinced that Thrasher wins this game on the play.
Against the entire format. Like
pretty much.
This is the best that Burn does. I mean, it's real close to it.
Mm-hmm.
And Todd is going to Ghost Quarter away the white mana from Sean. He does not want to see Boros Charm.
Makes sense.
And this is interesting. So Todd has 2 lands, Blessed Alliance, and Collected Company. Just how he wants to time that, well, we're going to have to see here.
Yeah, Todd doesn't want to get his Knight path to exiled either.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get his Knight path. At the same time, he wants to, if he gains 4 life, then he can Company. I don't know. He's not got this one locked up yet. There's this dance of, Skull Cracks versus Blessed Alliances that he needs to make sure he wins.
Mm-hmm. There was another window there where Thrasher was tapped out and Todd could have just gained 4 life. He doesn't have a ton going on, so it makes sense to try to get a little bit more value.
Yeah, well, without white mana, Sean can't Boros Charm either.
Right.
Plays Eidolon of the Great Revel. Will Todd gain 4 in response to this?
It would turn him off from casting Collected Company on this turn, but he'd also be in a pretty bad spot casting the Alliance down the road.
I like this. So I think what we're looking to do is he's going to, taps 2 mana, sacks a land. I think he's going to escalate the Blessed Alliance of gain 4 and untap both his creatures so that he can get the Knight going more quickly. Which is a neat mode.
The secret mode.
Yeah. So 1/2 mana. Now 3/4. Yeah. Cool play. Make that Collected Company, not Blessed Alliance. He had another 4 mana play. This one's much more aggressive. And I guess Renegade Rallier, thanks to Knight of the Reliquary, Revolt is turned on here. So he gets Rallier, he gets Voice of Resurgence. Rallier will trigger, we'll see what it wants to target.
Yeah, so that's what he was setting up by knighting, is just making sure that he could revolt on a Rallier off the Company.
Knight's going to bring back, looks like Horizon Canopy. The Rallier will. This is all in response to the Eidolon, I believe?
Yes. And the Rallier has to hit a land. Remember, it's CMC 2 or less, so can't grab Corsair with this one.
Yeah, can't cast Path to Exile, so that would be nice. And now he'll take his turn. Another Company to pick up.
It's a mighty good draw.
Yeah, they both. This is some neat magic in that both players are just lights out drawing here. So, after watching this match, you'd say, boy, I want to play both these decks. They both look amazing. Modern decks are so powerful.
Right. If you're wondering what kind of fancy lands Todd Stevens has in his deck for this Knight of the Reliquary package, it's a Gavany Township hanging out, the 4 Ghost Quarters, and the 2 Horizon Canopies, which he has already produced in this game.
He'll swing with Rallier, say go, put Thrasher down to 13. He's leaving up that Blessed Alliance. Now, both players know about it.
Yes.
The issue is that Todd doesn't have to make another move, right? He's winning the board. pretty quickly. Copperline Gorge the draw for Sean. It's like Todd may have stabilized. Knight's going to go to work again. Remember, it can sacrifice plains and forests, so Temple Garden's fine. And this is just a pump. He'll turn his Temple Garden into just a basic. And I like how Todd's getting to play this whole game with Blessed Alliance in hand.
Yes.
Goes for another Collected Company. This is actually safe because there's no white mana on Sean's side. He doesn't have to worry about 4 damage. Gets another Knight and a Tarmogoyf. Okay. And now he'll untap. This should be pretty quick.
Expect some pretty big attacks here on this next turn.
Draws another company. These decks are so good, Ryan.
Do either of these guys ever brick? They're playing Hearthstone. Just all spells all the time.
Yeah, drew another good one. Another company. I see a smile there on Todd's face. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, Knight of the Reliquary, and wow, what a brick. Noble Hierarch, get out of there. So unlucky.
Only got 4 mana worth of creatures off of his Collected Company.
And it looks like the whole team is going to swing in. Yeah, size check for Knight of the Reliquary. We have a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like. Yeah, there's 6 6s. Could be as high as 8 8s if he decides to. I don't think he's cracking that fetch ever.
Certainly does not seem to be his plan.
I hope this is lethal, though. If it's not, it's actually... Yeah, he blocks the 2 biggest. It isn't lethal, is it? 3, 4, and 2, no. Sean goes on to 4. So if Sean has a 3-point burn spell in here, and Todd... and he draws a second one, doesn't he just win? 2 lightning bolts would win from here.
Yeah, Stevens has to take 2 damage off his lands.
Yeah, I don't think that third Collected Company.
Yeah, the
that's
main
not. Yeah, I don't like that
was
one.
Super aggressive.
Sean didn't have it, so we're headed to a game 3. But Todd left him a window there.
And now Thrasher can produce the same kind of quality of spells the way that he lined up against Stevens' deck in game 3 on the play. Should be able to pull this one out.
Right, so for Todd Stevens, this is yet again another Modern tournament that he looks like he's very close to being in day 2 of, and it's another deck. So the Texas native, actually, the 31-year-old, 5 open top 8s, doesn't have the first win, but just so much of a brewer when it comes to Modern. A different deck and so many successes with so many different archetypes.
5-color Planeswalkers.
Is that Modern? Is that a Modern deck? That was a standard deck, right?
It's a Modern legal deck.
Okay. Played last year's Players' Championship. That was his first Players' Championship with Eldrazi Tron.
Had such hits as turn 3 double Mattery Shaper.
That was...
It was not a great PC for Todd, but obviously just qualifying for that tournament, very impressive. Yeah. Off to a great start this weekend as well.
And maybe it wasn't a good tournament, but after that we did see a lot of great results with Eldrazi Tron in the coming weeks, so a lot of times is the flag bearer of the format.
Todd Stevens played in our team open. He was the Modern player playing that deck. He went to 9-0, and his team of Tannin Grace and Brendan DeCanio really let him down.
Yeah, he missed day 2. Well, Tannin Grace also 6-1, so it's a good tournament for both of them right now. So Sean will be back on the play, and you'd mentioned that game with that kind of opening that Sean had. That just won't lose if he can draw that again.
Yeah, he'd really thrash Stevens with that hand on the play. See, that's a pun.
I see it.
That's how
I
puns
see
work.
It.
You use real words.
Proper nouns. It is a last name, so you can't totally do proper nouns.
Well, I couldn't play it on a Scrabble board if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
banned in pun Scrabble.
So for StarCityGames.com, we have the Star City Games newsletter that runs every week. It's on StarCityGames.com. It's features a lot of different things. We have highlights from some of our articles for the week to kind of sum up what you can find over on the website. We have our upcoming tournaments as well as advice from specific Star City Games players and writers. It's free to sign up for, so you can do that over at StarCityGames.com/newsletter.
Looks like both players on 7 for our deciding game 3.
Yeah, we saw some real powerhouse magic last round, so looks like you might see more of it. Sean on the play.
And the big test, turn 1 for Burn. Is he casting a creature, or is he casting a 1-mana Lava Spike effect?
In this matchup, creature's always the best on turn 1, though. He's going to want to change to burn spells rather quickly.
Creature supplemented by Searing Blaze is best possible in a matchup like this.
Well, Goblin Guide, 3rd game in a row for Thrasher. He'll hit in for 2. It does show that there's Courser of Crufix on top of the deck, but Todd, no Birds of Paradise. This could get ugly.
No birds, and the Courser is a lot less significant on the draw. And that's a Forest. Forest can't cast Path to Exile.
Yeah, we had a turn 2 Courser on the play last game. That's so much different than a turn 3 Courser on the draw. And Sean's going to add to the board. Looks like we see Suspending Rift Bolt. Oh, wow. All right. Goblin Guide swings in, draws Todd a Plains.
Steven's in a lot of trouble already.
And just says go. Plays the Plains he got. Does he have a 2? It's going to be Voice of Resurgence. So kind of put an end. In response to that, it'll be Lightning Bolt at Todd. He'll go to 13.
Voice isn't bad. It gets in the way of the Goblin Guide, but the Guide's done its job. It's connected for 4 already.
Yeah. So we're seeing 1 damage for 3, or 3 damage for 1, 3 damage for 1, 4 damage for 1. Todd's at 10, so halfway done. It just feels like Courser may not be fast enough. Bloodstained Mire for Thrasher.
Looks like Thrasher picked up Eidolon of the Great Revel on this turn.
Yeah, at least 1 more Lightning Bolt in Sean's hand as well.
Lightning Bolt plus Eidolon in this turn is going to be very difficult for Stevens to beat.
I mean, I like that you have to play the Bolt as Lava Spike here. I've always joked that in Burn, I think Lava Spike's a better card than Lightning Bolt because you can't screw it up.
Can't misclick.
Can't spell skite it. It's just...
That one actually matters, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. The fact that I said is true doesn't make it that real. Like,
it's like medium real. It's way more real than the targeting the wrong thing on accident.
It's like, save me from myself, Lava Spike. Just don't let me screw this up. See, he spikes, puts Todd to 7. He's actually going to swing with the Goblin Guide. A little surprised to see that. They're going to trade. Elemental token for Todd. And then it's going to be Eidolon of the Great Revel for Sean. So, and I like this because there's a 1/1 in play for Todd. But now that he's forced to play another creature, and that means he's going to take damage.
That's what I really like about that attack, exactly. Stevens can't just do nothing, because then he's getting attacked in a way that's very bad for him.
There is a Dromoka's command in Todd's hand, and I think there's a world where this would have been really a good card. If he wasn't at 7 on turn 3, this would have been pretty good. But, you know, Birds plus Dromoka's command is a pretty good turn in other situations.
Well, I believe Thrasher down to 1 card in hand.
Yeah, but how can Todd play around anything here?
Yeah, there's not too much that he can do.
He doesn't have life points. Now Thrasher did draw land. Todd had to discard to hand size, apparently. So we see an attack from Eidolon of the Great Revel. And Todd's going to chump block. Remember that Dromoka's command can destroy a target enchantment, so that actually includes Eidolon of the Great Revel.
Rather force a player to sacrifice an enchantment, but same difference here.
Yeah, a go from Sean. Todd's, he's got to be worried.
He can take 2 by casting the Dromoka's command and get the Eidolon off the table, or he can take 2 from the Eidolon and it can still be there. So casting the command makes sense.
So he's going to cast it. The only one that matters here is sacking an enchantment. Stevens down to 5. Okay. It's of note he said that he targeted it with the 1/1 counter. So yeah, you do have to actually pick 2 modes.
Yeah, that's the only way that the spell is actually castable, but because Eidolon's a creature, you'll always be able to do it.
Yeah, and Todd, he's going to make, this is a pretty neat play. He starts out by tapping 2, then ghost courting himself for that other forest. It looks like he's going for Courser of Krufix here and wants to get the life gain off it. Hasn't made his land drop yet.
And he already has another Plains rolled up in his hand, so he won't be off white mana.
Yeah. Here's Courser. Now, Sean's going to have to win this game on this turn. Otherwise, Todd's play is second Courser, play fetch land, crack fetch land.
Yeah, Todd starts to gain a lot of life here in the next couple of turns. So we'll see what Thrasher has left over. There's definitely a Sacred Foundry in one of his 2 cards.
Yeah, can Sean kill him? It's really got to be soon, though. That if he plays second Courser and plays a fetch land, he's going to gain a lot of life here. And Sean missed on a couple real pivotal draws. And I think this is Todd's gonna run away quickly with this. Yeah, second Courser. Life gain to 8. Yeah, these. I don't know how Sean overcomes this. Especially, Todd's next turn is third Courser.
Yeah, Thrasher is in all kinds of trouble now.
He drew Boros Charm this turn. Plays a tapped Sacred Foundry. Still has to keep passing, though. He just doesn't have the lethal burn spells. He drew some lands at some bad times. Yeah, Todd's just going to keep going to work here. Another Courser. And this is going to do it.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen 3 Courser of Krufix on a modern table.
Yeah, I was like, I remember this from Standard a few years ago. This was pretty nice then. Here's Gavney Township, Todd up to 11. When all your land drops are now gaining 3, Burn doesn't really have an out.
All your spells generally deal 3 damage. Your opponent gets to gain 5 life off of a fetch land.
Yeah, and Sean's blazing fast start was so close to the finish line here, and then it hits a snag. And this is one of the hard parts about Burn, right? You're a red deck, so you don't really have manipulation. You don't have a way to control your draw. So you are at the mercy of the top of your deck a lot of the time, and that's looks like what's going to do Sean Thrasher in here.
Yeah, it's really just looks like one more spell would have done it. But yep, got a little flooded here, and Burn really can't afford to do that when your opponent's answering your creatures.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt upstairs, Todd down to 8, but he's trading Lightning Bolts with Todd's land drops. Boros Charm puts him to 4. With no cards in hand, Todd's going to take the opportunity to go to 3 or make that 6 by using his fetch land.
Yeah, wisely cracking that fetch while Thrasher is tapped out.
Yep. So we'll go to 6. I guess there is 1 card in Thrasher's hand. And I would say if it's a 3-point burn spell and he has another 3-point burn spell, he'll win. Except that if that was his hand, he would have won last turn. So it seems like that card has to be a blank.
Right. Yes.
But if it's not for some reason, then Sean has one window here to win.
Right.
And there are 2 lands. That is not going to do it. It is Todd Stevens taking game 3 and winning the match. That'll bring him to 7-1, and that will send him to day 2.
Steven locked for day 2.